Hi Tubies, this is Amber again. So I would like to do another book review on another one of the Rupert's tales. This one is Learning Magic by Kyrja, illustrated by Tanya Bennington Osborne. This video should go a little bit better than my previous book review because everyone in my entire house is asleep right now. So yeah, this is the second book my family checked out from the Friends of Rupert Lending Library. And if this is the first time you've heard about Rupert's Tales, it's a series of children's books that teach children about the various pagan holidays and different types of magic. And the previous one I checked out was Rupert's Bedtime Stories, and that is about working with your dreams and different things. So the one we checked out right now and we are reading right now is called Rupert's Tales Learning Magic. And this is a really fantastic book. It has two Rupert's Tales in it. The first one is called Tools of the Craft, and the second one is called Rupert's Magical Imagination. And the stories are wrote in a poem kind of form, kind of flowing, rhythmic, rhyming poem. And that's how the other book was as well, and that's how this one is. I don't know about the other ones, but the ones I've read so far, that's how they are, and I really enjoy that. I really enjoy words that have a good flow to them. In the first story, the first story in it, which is Tools of the Craft, it's about that. It's about a family going to a sacred place in a sacred circle area, and they're teaching their children about some of the different tools that are used in their practice. It doesn't go into like really big detail, but it's a very good starting off point. This book is actually geared toward 5 to 8-year-olds. So my oldest son is 4, but I still think it did quite well. It goes over the different tools, like the athame, and how there's different ways to say it, and how you use it. And talks about like casting circles. And there's illustrations. It talks about lighting candles and like how the gold candles represent the Lord or the God, and the silver candles represent the lady or the goddess, depending on whatever your path is. Talks a little bit about respecting other people's religious items, because there's a lot of people that don't want you to touch their ritual items unless you give them permission. It talks about the chalice and what that's used for. Talks about, look, there's a picture of smudge sticks, Talks about the cauldron. It talks about a lot of, not all of them, but some of the tools you use, and a very simple way to explain them to children. I really enjoyed this. I mean, while I don't necessarily have like a patron god and goddess, I don't really particularly follow a pantheon, I still found it a very good book to read to my kids. Particularly, I mean, where I'm reading this book and it refers to like cleansing space with bells or like smudging, and I was like, yeah, Victor, we do that. And it's kind of nice to have something in a book with something that you do in your actual life and your child witnesses it, and it's a normal thing to them, but it explains it a little bit more in a little bit of a different way so they can understand. The second story is called Rupert's Magical Imagination, and it teaches you about magic in the sense of how you're focusing on your intention and you're using your imagination, which is kind of like explaining visualization. It's really good. It's a very good way to explain things to children. And I tried to, I don't know how well I said it in the previous video, but these books, even though this is the second one I've read, these books are really good for parents who are pagan, or I'm more of a pantheist, but even then it's kind of a loose type of term for me. But it's really good for people who weren't raised pagan. And I just had a conversation with another parent because it's a common problem. A lot of us come into our paths when we're teenagers. And how do we teach our children these things that we understood on a completely different level because we were teenagers? We have to simplify it, you know? And these are really good, just from what I've witnessed so far, is a really good starting off point. It, you know, it doesn't go into so much detail that you're going to confuse your kids, but it gives them enough to get an understanding, you know? It's really, really fantastic. And I love the illustrations. They look so real. They look like real illustrations, like something I would see, like a friend draw, you know. It's nice. And they're all in pastel, and I'm a huge fan of pastel. I love them. I love that soft, I'm sitting here petting the book. You can't see, I'm like, ah. I love that soft pastel look of everything. I'll show you a couple of the pictures. Let's see if I'm holding it up well enough. Woo. These are images from the Rupert's Magical Imagination. Rupert's favorite tree. Yeah. So, yeah, this is the book I'm checking out right now. Rupert's Tales. There are I think there's another Rupert's Tales book about teaching magic, and I think it's called like Learning More Magic or something to that degree. Sorry, I got distracted. I think I heard somebody out in the street. So yeah, yay, Rupert's Tales. Kyrja also has a YouTube channel. If I can somehow figure out how to put a link down, I will at some point. But her channel is called Friends of Rupert. And I'm really, really, really loving this woman more and more. The more I learn about her and the more stuff I've seen that she's created and what she gives back to the community, true inspiration. Oh my gosh. You know, on YouTube, her YouTube, I can't even talk. Her YouTube channel, it's like she has it's like a children pagan TV show almost. It's done in sections, but it's great. It's great. I love it. I love it so much. It's like pagan daycare, pagan Sunday school, you know. It's fun and it's simple and it's exciting and it's really educational, you know, and you find yourself being like, yes! It's fantastic. So if you have kids, or even if you don't have kids, go check out Friend of Rupert's YouTube channel. Good stuff. Okay. Well, love and light. I love you all. Peace out.